things first. Do you have an update on Josh and
I
Terry?
don't. No. They'll both get MRIs tomorrow.
You cut it to 2 and then Tyler 3. What did you think about the offensive execution on the stretch before that and then after that point?
Yeah, more than anything, you get down the stretch, you just want to make plays, find that grit. I thought our group showed a tremendous amount of grit in that second half. There was a lot of things that weren't necessarily going our way, including the injuries, and then down 10. To really claw and fight back and get this game on the ropes. I think it was a credit to how hard our guys were playing, and then sometimes it ends up being make or miss. Down the stretch they had, basically Drew Holiday, hounding Tyler there and trying to figure out like how they were going to match up. Either put for a few possessions they were putting Holiday on Bam, then they switched and put him on Tyler. I think the execution was very good. In that fourth quarter, the last 6 minutes, it was coherent. It was to our strengths, and he lived with the results. From there, probably if there's one thing that the head coach could point to, unfortunately, was those second chance opportunities throughout the course of the game. You're going to deal with a lot of different things that are really tough, to guard. And I thought we managed that pretty well. A lot of really good multiple efforts. But I looked at it after the game. It said they only had 6 offensive rebounds, but then, 19 second chance points off of those. I'm not a math guy, but it seems like they would hit a 3 on every single one of those and an and one or whatever it may be. But those probably end up being the deciding factors, in the game. The big muscle areas that, the other areas of big muscle, I thought we did a pretty good job. But on the glass, those perimeter rebounds or those longer rebounds, about 10, 12 feet, we didn't do a great job on that.
I know we don't know the injuries yet, but guys like Josh and Terry, who were sort of coming on and pushing, Josh coming around a little, hustle plays, Terry the same thing, playing with a big motor. As a coach and someone who's around them all the time, to see those type of situations with those kind of guys, what's it like for you in the moment, and also just being on the bench then without them the rest of the game?
Yeah, you more than anything just feel for those guys. They're competitors. They want to be out there. They're trending in a much better direction. Josh was just starting to get healthy and really starting to get his legs under him and really starting to make an impact on both ends of the floor for us. Terry was getting a lot more comfortable, but you still want to see a fortitude that's being developed over the course of the season, and that's what I'm noticing now. The last 2 weeks, we're starting to develop some grit and competing more to our identity, and that thing that goes across our jersey tonight, that has to be the standard, and we're competing at a much higher level, regardless of any kind of excuse you could make.
Now, you've seen him for a few games. How has Porzingis kind of changed the look and feel of this matchup? And how do you evaluate when he's getting a shorter guy on him, but he's also just kind of shooting over the top of those guys, which he can do against a lot?
It gives him a different look of somebody that's, he's not 6'9", so if you switch or do some different things, he can shoot it, right over the top. And, with him, it's always been about health because he's always been a very impactful player. His nickname, whatever that, that's for a reason. There's just not a lot of guys, that size, that shooting ability, and so forth. But even with that said, I thought we managed that, well enough, and the efforts we were making were good enough. Probably the most collapsing plays were the second chance opportunity plays, and now that gave them a little bit more life, or put a little bit more pressure on us at the other end, where we felt like we had to to score.
Just the situation with Duncan in the fourth quarter and the back and forth, I guess, just how much do you still embody the rivalry part of this, where even with the guys that weren't part of it and there's a new rivalry building, like how much do you embody that part of the game?
You just want to be hopeful and grateful enough that you can be a part of something like this. And we say it all the time that new players come in, you're inheriting, this feeling, that we have for them, and they probably feel a certain way about us, and you would never want to just go through an entire career and not have that. So, I know our guys embrace that. It's good for competition, it's good for the league, and it's good for the players. And our guys love that. We just ended up on the wrong side of the score tonight.